Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Lili Nishmasi Mimarosi Rosner Mordechai. Yeah, I was in a great mood. Welcome to all the guests. Shalom. You brought your brother over there, Givaldik. So, some very interesting stuff. Yesterday, we were discussing, or the other day, we were discussing about Kibud Ach. There's a real chiyuv to honor your older brother. So here's a video I said during Shir. I told Hillel, for instance, you're mechuyev to be mechabed your brother Avi. You should give him water once in a while. If he has to go to the airport, like tomorrow, you should take him to the airport. So he gets up in the middle of Shir and he runs and he gets him a cup of water and he brings him water. And then I get this video. You can play this.
Look who took me to the airport. Shkoyach Eli.
It's first time. It's gonna make it okay. Save some money. But there's another video from Avi, and this was a major shocker. Oh, I like that little look at the screen, Rabbi Say. Nice touch. This, by the way, I found a picture from Sukkot from I don't know how many years ago, 3-4 years ago. The whole shir fit into Avi's sukkah. This is Avi Kamiansky's sukkah. Here you see. Nachman Seltzer. Wow, Mendy. You look a little different. I look a little different. My hair was darker. That's Gary in the pink shirt, all the way in the front. There's no cameras to operate back then. There's a phone on a stand, and that's it. That's Yosef Biliak all the way in the back. Hillel Kamiansky standing. This is an Avi Sukkah. All right, Rabbi Sai, check out this video. I was shocked. I think you're going to be shocked as well. And I'll explain everything. All you need to know, it's... Okay, whatever. To be explained. Here you go. Rabbi Sai, you ready? So, 4 or 5 of the chevra that started this year, all the way in the beginning, they decided it would be a good idea, even though I just came back from Africa a month ago. They're all expense paid trip for my 50th birthday to Africa. When? This Sunday. Yishkoyach. Happy birthday, yeah. So that's why I said you're not going to be so happy. You just finally came back. You're all invited. Yeah. So Yishkoyach to those chavra. I'm still trying to digest it.
Eli, that's what the fundraiser was for. Cola.
Yeah, cola. Yeah, it's going to be a year full of trips. But I went from not going anywhere for a full year to I'll be going every 3 weeks now. Huh? Anybody else? No, you missed the video. Shkoyach. I think he was part of it. I think he knows what's going on here. All right, Rabbi Sai. What else do we have here?
So the evening trip is canceled?
No. It's coming back just in time for London. Don't worry about it. London, Rabbi Sai, sign up for the London Siyum. Nidarim is starting in what? 8 days, 9 days. Get ready. It's an unbelievable Masechta. Very easy. The shortest dapim in Shas. And I think I'm going to be in Africa during that. Shugayim. Yeah, we're finishing Masechta, starting Masechta in Africa. Okay, it's going to be very interesting. Shkoyach. I don't want to be that. They give me gifts. Every time you give me a gift, I have a shtickle. Shalom Aleichem, guys. Come on in. Give them a seat. Somebody new.
Eli, does the gift include Wi-Fi this time?
Oh, that's why Gershon's coming. Gershon's coming with us. It's Givaldik. Gershon, Noam, Avi, a guy from South Africa, a big mumchen in safaris. Bekitzer, it's all good. Huh? If I could do it. Do we have a seat? We have one seat available over here. Tzaddik, come here. It's the exact opposite of that corner. So it works out well. Kim, where are you guys from? From where? Where in New York? New York is a big place. Months in New York. Shalom Aleichem. Kim Aran. What's your name? Sinner. Yeah. What's your first name? Shmuel Sinner. Givaldik. Shkoyach. What's your friend's name? That's your brother. Another Sinner. Okay, Givaldik. Rabbi Sai. Here we are, brand new Perek. And before we have to say the sponsors, the Koilel sponsor, Lili Nishmas Chaya Bas Yosef, the Koilel, aka Safari Trip to Africa, Yishkoyach, for the anonymous sponsor. No, just kidding. That was Avi's joke. The Masech sponsor, Lili Nishmas Yosef, Baruch ben Moshe Aaron, Lili Nishmas Moshe Loza ben Nota Shalom, and for that hatzlacha and Yoniv for my children. The Masech is sponsored by Jeff Rosner, zchus on my son, Yosef Simcha Chaim, Ben Sar Chana, Refuah Shlaima, Amen. The rest of the Masechta is sponsored by Ofishel Mitzva Motivators, the Refuah, Avraham, Mנשה, Chana, Brokha, Refuah Shlema. And the Paras HaChodesh, the Nishma Zechariah ben Moshe, Paras HaShavua, Vladislav Zakharov, and the zchus that I finished my research by February. The Paras HaYoim, Rodney, Nassimi, Refuah Shlaima, for Tehilla, Basia, Bas, Chayatova, and Lela Devora Bat Esther, something like that. Rabbi Sai, today is the Ribnitzer Rebbe's yahrzeit. And I had the zchus as a kid to go to his tishin and sit on his lap and say Tehilla with him and have maises about him. I'm not going to go into the maises, but it's his yahrzeit today. So is the Shom should have an aliyah. And finally, I would like to introduce to the Olam something that came up this morning. It's a combination of three ideas, basically. We've been talking about Shnai Mikra, that everybody should do Shnai Mikra. And, we have Elchanan Pressman who presses that I should give a Dvar Torah every week. So, because of this video that I just showed about South Africa or Africa and Shnai Mikra, I figured, okay, I want to push Shnai Mikra. Elchanan wants me to do this Dvar Torah, and it's a little bit hard to go. I want to go on a second safari, but it's just on a safari. So to offset that safari, so okay, I'll be mevater to Elchanan Pressman, and I'll give it Dvar Torah every week on a WhatsApp group, and we'll call the Shnai Mikra WhatsApp group. It'll be a WhatsApp group to encourage people to do Shnai Mikra. What do you guys say? It's a combination of everything together. Donnie's going to run the group. Yosef Biliak together with Nassanel are working on arranging the group and getting people together. We have to start right now. Today's Wednesday. It's going to be today. This week's the hardest parsha of the year. We only have 2-3 days to start and go, and it's a very long parsha, 140 something psukim. There's already a link to the group. Givaldik. Real quickly, we only have 3 names today. Huh? Be over here, it'll be over there, it'll be there, everywhere. Okay, Givaldik. Daniel Kalker, $10. Noah Zabazny, $36. And finally, Yosef Kapelovich, $18. Rabbi Sai brand new Perek. Sponsored by Moshe Cohen L'Schos for Limit HaTorah and Continue hatzlacha and Parnasa. Very interesting Perek. Shnei Dayan Gzeiros Yerushalayim. You're going to see, perhaps there were more, but there were many Dayanim in Yerushalayim, hundreds of Dayanim, but the Mishnah says there are only 2, maybe 3. Why are there people? There's 4 people standing in the back. Oh, because the chairs are still in the sukkah, that's why. We're missing chairs. All right. If I wasn't giving cheer, I would give up my cheer right now. Hint, hint. All right. Shnei Dayanim Gzeiros Yerushalayim. There were many sponsors, there were many Dayanim in. I heard that, Mati. Yeah, you can sit in my lap. I'm in the Ribnitzer Rebbe. Shnei Dayanim Gzeiros Yerushalayim. There are 2 Dayanim, though, that created the Gzeiros. We have Gzeiros. You can't touch Muktzah, you can't do this, you can't do that. Gzeira, 2 of them. Their names, Admoin v'Chanan Avishalom. Two, Admoin and Chanan ben Avishalom. Says Tosfos on the spot over here that Tosfos says his name is Avishalom, not Avshalom. And he goes into a whole arichos how Shem Rishon Yirkav, that a person's name has a lot of meaning, and okay, person's name has a lot of meaning, and when you name somebody after somebody else, you have to make sure he's not a Rasha. So you can't call somebody Avshalom when Avshalom was a Rasha. Reminds me of the story. We have heard a lot of stories about Reb Chaim Kanevsky and names, but this one is a very interesting story. A guy comes to Reb Chaim Kanevsky and he says, Reb Chaim asks him, what's his name? He says, my name is Erez. He says, Erez, it's not in Tanakh. He says, it is in Tanakh. He says, yeah, but it's not a name in Tanakh. So he went to the Belzer Rav, and he was very depressed about it. The Belzer Rav said, you go tell Reb Chaim Kanevsky that Chaim is not in Tanakh as a name either. Whether it's a true story or not, there's some... Okay. So now we're going to go through all the things that Chanan said, that Chachamim argued on Chanan, and Admoin said, and Chachamim argued on Admoin. Admoin said 7, Chanan said 2. Some of them are connected to our Masechta, to our Perek, to the program that we just learned. Some are not really connected. Shas Katan. Admoin Oimer Shiva. So now we're going into Chana. He disappears, he goes on a trip, and his wife needs to eat. Only when she comes to take a ksuba. Why would she take a ksuba? Because they found out that the guy never made it. He's dead. He went on a safari somewhere. No. He's not alive anymore. Needs a ksuba. So that's Tishava B'Soif. Soif means the ksuba. But anytime she comes from Mizonis, no shvuah. Anytime you come from Mizonis, you have to swear. You come for a ksuba, what are you swearing in the ksuba? You're swearing that, give me the 200, I have nothing that belongs to my husband. I don't have anything on me that could deduct from the ksuba. Omer Reb Doisa ben Hirkinus Kedivrayim, and Reb Doisa agreed with them. Omer Reb Yochanan ben Zakkai, Yof Omer Chanan, like Tishav El B'Soif, I agree, says Reb Yochanan ben Zakkai, I agree with Chana. Says the Gemara, easy light Gemaras. Verimini, you're telling me, Shnei Dayanik Zeirois. No, I'm saying in the Mishnah. Shnei Dayanik Zeirois, it says in the Mishnah, there's 2. Dayanim of what? That they made Zeirois. Verimini, Shloisha Dayani Gezeilois. Not Zeirois, Gezeilois. There were 3, not 2. And they did things that had to do with Gezel, with stealing, with mumminus. Hoy Yerushalayim. Admoin, that's Admoin ben Gadai, that's our Admoin in the Mishnah. V'chanan ha-Mitzri, v'chanan ben Avishalom. So we're missing in our Mishnah Chanan ha-Mitzri. Says the Gemara, first of all, kashet lasa trade. In the Brisa says there's 3. The Mishnah only brings down 2 Dayanik Xeris. In other words, they're very high level. There's a Dayanim, there's a Dayan, but there's a Dayan that makes Xeris. Our Mishnah says there's only 2. Also, Kashik Xeris Agzelos. Which one? What do we call them? Are they the Dayanim of Gzera or the Dayan of Gezel? Bishlamit Lasa train like Hashia. The 3 versus the 2, the Choshev like Tani. So this is one pshat, simple pshat. Whoever's more Choshev, in Taisus bring 2 pshatim. Seems like Rashi also agrees with that somewhere else. In other words, Chanan ha-Mitzri wasn't as important for the Mishnah to mention his name. The Choshev like Tani, the loy Choshev lay loy Katani. That's why our Mishnah doesn't bring his name. El Gzeira is Agzelos Kashia. Why does our Mishnah call it Gzeira? And the Brisa calls it Gzeila. Omer Rachman Bar Yitzchak show you Goizrim Gzeiros al Gzeilos. They used to be Goizer Gzeira on Gzeila, so it's really the same. A Dayan of a Gzeira and a Dayan of Gzeila is the same thing because they were Goizer Gzeila. What's so choshev about a Gzeila? The Goizer a lot of things. They were Goizer, I don't know what. You can't walk here, you can't do this, you can't do that. Why do we call them based on the Gzeila? I think the pshat is, as the Gemara explains now, Kedisanya, Kitman netiya. If your animal goes into somebody's garden and uproots a sapling, a new tree, how much do you pay? Reb Yossi Omer, Goizer Xeris B'Shibir Shleim Oimrim, Netiya Bashnasa Shtei Kesef. It's 2 kesef. 2 kesef, just a chart to have a chart, why not? 2 kesef is 2 ma. Every dinner, every cell has 4 dinarim, dinner has 6 ma. So 2 of those. Shtei shonim arba kesef. It's 2 years old, you double it. Now, the value of the sapling could be 100 ma. It could be an olive tree. It could be 1 ma. So what's this 2 ma? That's a real gzera. So perhaps they called them Dayani Gzelos, Gzeres. They were so powerful, they were able to take money out of people's pockets also. Not just say, oh, on Shabbos do this, on Shabbos do that. But also to remove money, that's a very powerful thing. Now another question. Admoin, V'chonon, V'nachom. So we have somebody that's not mentioned in our Mishnah. Why is Nachum not mentioned in our Mishnah? That's another man that holds that Nachum is one of the 3. Where do we see Nachum Amadi? Where do we say it if you're Litvish? Friday night in Bamem Adlikin. No, he's not one of the 3. He's not one of the people. There's also another way to learn here. Are we talking about, wow, the chesed, went to get cheers. Psh. You went to my house for that? Ah. Shkoyach. So, thank you very much. That's very nice. So, are they still admitting that this 3, just Nachum is not one of the 3? Or they hold that there's only 2 Dayanik Zeres? Okay, a little bit of a shaila. V'suleka, or machlokes. V'suleka of Omer Pinchas, Omer Vishaya, Shalish Meyois V'Tishin V'Arba Bati Dinim Hoy B'Yerushalayim. 394 Bati Dinim B'Yerushalayim. Rabbi Schoenberg, you would appreciate this, because when I was learning this, I thought to myself, throughout Shas, we always say 400, 400, 400. And 400 we say is a guzman. To show that it's not an exaggeration, you have to be exact. You say 394, nobody exaggerates 394. 400, okay, 400. 300 and 400 is always the number of guzma. It's like also, Avram ben Avram, the famous Avram ben Avram in time of the guy that became a ger, big tzaddik, the guy said he could save him. He said, no, he wants to die, Al Kiddush Hashem. His father is extremely wealthy. Huh? Right.
Count Petotsky.
No, his first name was something else. Count?
Vladimir Petotsky. He was the count. He was the hero of the count.
And his father was extremely wealthy, right? He had 999 properties. There's a better word for it, but okay, he had 999 estates. That's the word. He had 999 estates, and refused to take the 1,000 because he said it doesn't sound so good. When you say 999, it's much better. It sounds 994 Batei Din. See, they had a lot of dayanim, and Rashi says in each one had 23 dayanim. Other places Rashi says 3 dayanim. Akapanim, it's either close to 3,000 or I don't know. Do the math. 20,000. Says the Gemara. But there's a lot of dayanim. So why are you telling me there's only 2? If there's 20,000 or 3,000. Says the Gemara. We connect on Batei Knesiyos. There's 994 shuls. We connect on Batei Midrashis and 994 places to learn. Where am I? Oh, 394. Sorry, 394. Thank you. 394. 394. So scratch all that math I said before. Connect them Batei Knesiyos. We connect them Batei Midrashis. We connect them Batei Seifrim. There was schools. 394 schools. So dayanim tuvavu. So the Gemara, dayanim tuvavu. There are many dayanim, but we're talking about we're only talking about the special ones, those who had the ability to create new gzeres. Omer Rav Yehuda, Omer Rav Asi, Refuah Shlaima, notim zchorim tishim v'teisha mana mitrumas halishka. So we're going to get into a whole discussion of trumas halishka. It reminds me of shkalim, and I go a little bonkers when I hear the word shkalim. But we're going to do it. And basically, Klal Yisrael would come and give a half a shekel. Put in the pushka, they had 3 boxes. And from that half shekel, there would be a big pile, as you see in the chart, or you don't see in the chart. They would take from the whole pile and they would buy the carbon tamid and different korbanos that they needed, and whatever's left over. And there's different times, they go through it, different tkufas, Rosh Chodesh Nisan and Purim, and whatever was left after is Shiyar Alishka. They would buy other stuff, or they would repair the Beis Hamikdash with it. We're going to see. But from this pile of chatzi shekel that was given to buy korbanos, they would support the dayanim. Exactly how much each dayan got, was it 99 mana for each one, or the whole bezdin, whatever. But they got supported. In other words, they were supported from communal funds. There's no shoichad here. There's no shoichad. Nobody gave them money. It's from the whole community. Okay. Leiratzu, Moisifim lahem. If they're not happy, the Gemara understood they're not happy with their salary, so you give them a little bit more. Leiratzu otabur shoya askinon. Are they Rishayim? So Rashi explains, what makes them Rishayim? If they're making more money than they need to live, then they're Rishayim. Taking money for being a dayan, as we're going to see soon. Ella, the pshat is the opposite. Lo sabku, if they don't make enough living, even though they don't want to take money, these are tzaddikim, they don't want to take from the communal funds, we force them to take money. Says the Gemara, Karna have a shokol istira mizakai vistir mechayev. He would take a istira. Rabbi say, how much is the istira? A half a zuz. How much is the istira? Half a zuz. So you take a half a zuz from the teveya, half a zuz from the nitba. Mizakai vistir chatzi have a shokol istira mizakai vistir mechayev v'doin ludina. Do din. The famous var joke that there's a judge that used to leave his shoes by the entrance to the court, and the right shoe was for the defendant. The left shoe was for what's the opposite defendant? The who? The plaintiff. And then he would put on his shoes, and whichever one had more cash in it, that's how he decided then.
How did he know?
No, the right is always for the defendant. The left is always for the plaintiff. And his foot was hard to get in. It was a little harder. He knew there's more cash. One day he comes to court and he can't even put his foot in. He's like limping. He's like, mamish, like this gishmak. So he paskins for the guy, of course. And he gets home. He says, "Wow, can't believe people are so dishonest. He filled it up with toilet paper." Yeah. Zog to Gemara. No, so he takes a little bit from him. Karna takes a little bit from him and a little bit from him, and he does a din. Is that okay? How can you do something like this? You can't take a bribe. Maybe the pshat is you can't take from one, but if you take shaycha from both, okay. Dilma kind of giving the shokum tar value because you're gonna tip the din towards the guy that gave you the money. Kind of giving the shokum tar value, he took equal from both. And if it's not gonna be exact, it's still allowed. But to flip over the din, that's part that you can't. You can't even, if you know for sure that Reuven is 100% guilty, you can't take money from Shimon and say, "Oh, Reuven is guilty," but you know he's guilty, so nothing changed. No, also. So you have another pasuk that tells you. So one pasuk says you can't tip it. Another pasuk says even if you're not tipping, you're going to do what you need to do, you can't take a bribe. Says Gemara, that's if you take it as a bribe. He took it as a salary. As the Gemara, how you allowed to take a salary? It's not. If you take money to do it in Torah, then cancel everything he did, cancel his din. Says the Gemara, Hanimili. Agardina. He says, if you don't pay me, I'm not going to do din. That's agardina. Karna, agar betela havish shakel. Karna took the lost income. He had a good job. So all he's doing is taking the loss. That's okay. A known loss you could. We're going to see in a second. To take a loss of income, is that allowed? He's discussing despicable is the dayan. It's a good din. Says Gemara, wait a minute. We just said a second ago that din of einon din. It's not a din. And now we're saying it is a din. Oh, so before and now it must be a completely different story. If he took money to paskin, din din. That we already learned that if you take straight out money, say, I'm not going to paskin for you unless you pay me. In other words, he's taking money to sit down and that his din is garnished. Nothing. So you must say, so why is this a good din, but he's mechur? It's despicable. Because he's saying straight out, I'm not taking for the din, I'm just want my loss. I make $10 an hour, give me $10. It's disgusting. So how did Karna do it? Says Gemara, Karna was well known and was 100% that he's going to make that money. He had a job every day. He used to smell the wine and decide whether or not the wine is about to become vinegar or not. For that job, you'd get a zuz.
Isn't that how Rebbeinu paid schar bottle?
I don't know. I mean, you have to have a known job. I don't think a Rebbe ever had a job. They go straight into it. So over here we know he makes a zuz a day, whatever it is, a zuz a day. This, and everybody has barrels of wine. Everybody hires him. He goes. There's different jobs today also that you have food scientists. You have different people that they use their chush hareach and they make money like that. There's a word for it. I wrote it down, but I don't even. Sommelier, right? Sommelier. Who said that? Sommelier, correct. That's a wine kind of sewer guy. Sommelier. It's not written like that, but you have to knock out this. It's SOMEMLE, whatever. Sommelier. Okay, whatever. I can't even talk English. I'm going to talk French now. Fine. Now, Rabbi Isai, if we step back, let's go back to the beginning of the story. Karna, listen to this. If you can't find this, 4 or 5 lines from where it becomes wide. Karna have a shokol istra mizakai v'istra mechayiv v'don ludina. He would take what? An istra. How much is an istra? Why did he take half a zuz from him and half a zuz from him? Because he was losing a zuz every day. Now it makes sense. He took an istra from this guy and an istra from that guy. Just simple pashup pshat. Says the Gemara, Ki hod Ravuna David Osidin Likamei. He had a din Torah Omarlu Hoveli Gavra the Dalili Becharikai. I need to water my fields. Bring somebody that's going to draw water Becharikai, says Rashi, instead of me. I don't want to make money off you. I just don't want to lose. Now that's even more of a chiddush because instead of him doing physical labor of schlepping water all day, he's going to sit in an air-conditioned bezdin and he's going to pass in the din. But that's also okay because he's not making any money. He's not making profit. He's just not having the loss.
It's also incurring risk.
Yeah.
If he gives an improper din, he's going to have to pay whoever he cost him money. So he's taking a risk.
It never happened to him. You think he ever made a mistake in his life? Reb Huna. Yeah, it depends. No, you have to pay. You have to pay from your money. If a dime makes a mistake. If it's a mistake that if he made a mistake that we just learned it. If he made a mistake that it's in the Mishnah and he didn't know the Mishnah, then it's bottle. But if he made a mistake with his own svara, then he has to pay. He has to pay. But kids are okay. Look at these guys that their eyes become blind. A person his eyes don't feel well. He goes to the doctor. So he goes to the doctor, he pays the doctor. Sofik misrapa, he gives him eye drops instead. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Vehein, these dayanim noitlim shava pruta, they take the money and umisame neim, the Gemara says, it's a guarantee. It's a guarantee that if a dayan takes money, he will become blind. He will have ailment to his eyes. There's once a judge, a dayan that became deaf. So what's going on? It says in the Torah you become blind if you take shaycha, not deaf. Why are you deaf? He said, it's not like in the olden days. In the olden days, when they gave shaycha. So the guy saw the shaycha, so he became blind. He says, in our days, they just promised the shaycha. It's very different. Says the Gemara, the shaycha, the bribe, makes the smart, the pikrim, makes them blind. If it could make smart people blind, so certainly it'll make the tippish blind, the fool. V'yisalef, it perverts. I think the lashon is v'yisalef divrei tzadikim. Kavachomer l'rishayim. If it could take a tzaddik and make his words flip, then certainly it'll take a Russia's words and flip them. Ask the Gemara, but how does a Russia ever step into the Bezdin? How is it possible that a Russia is a dayan? A dayan is a chash of a person. How does a fool become a dayan? The pshat is, even if he's a very smart person, but he takes bribes, he won't leave this world without having some block of the heart. There's a story, I forgot who it is. Maybe it was Reb Eli Stefansky. This is one of those very clever, Maril Diskin, one of those, the famous for being very sharp, that he was in a din Torah, and he was certain that it's going to go with Ruvain. All of a sudden, in the middle of the din Torah, he had a flip of heart, and he started thinking about Shimon. He said, no, but maybe Shimon. And he didn't know what was going on. He said, something's wrong. So he stepped outside, and he found money in his pocket. He said, the koyach of a bribe is so strong that even if you don't know about it, it has this tumah that could change. I forgot who it is. If Reb Shmuel Salant. Okay. Yeah. The Brisker told the dayan, you mean in a din Torah that was going against Yidden, a shayfet, so stick some money in his pocket without him knowing? Okay. Another corny one. They asked a wealthy guy, why were you in jail? He says, bribe. No, so how'd you get out so fast? Bribe. V'yisaladiri tzadikim, afilu tzadik gomer v'lekeach shoichad, einer nifter min ha'olam, beloi tiruf das. Even if the person is a complete tzaddik, but he has one little problem, he takes a little shoichad, the little bribe on the side, einer nifter min ha'olam, beloi tiruf das. I just realized something. Wow. Where's that Gemara? It's coming. Yeah, this Gemara, it's unbelievable. I just chapped this. When you give somebody something, let's see, it's mamish the next line, and I guess that's the connection. I'm making the connection now. Daf Amud Beis as a zchus to continue being able to support Torah and to finish Shas with Reb Eli. Reb Eli, in case you didn't hear the emails, I'm not going to be in Eretz Yisrael next week. Ayin in the emails, I'm not going to tell you why. But if you weren't in the emails, we're starting the Durham in a week and a few days. So bring your friends. Thursday, next Thursday. Here it is. Thursday in the Durham Bays. So bring your friends. You know what to do. You know how to get them. Noam is already working on it. He has a few guys in Kenya that he's starting to, yeah? He's doing tshuva. Ki also Rav Dimi, Again, we had this yesterday, the same lashon. When Rav Dimi came from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel, Omar, a king who judges nicely and the proper way, he upholds the world. Vish trumois, but a person who takes gifts, yar sena, he'll destroy it. If a person is like a dayan, if a dayan is like a king doesn't need anything, he has the whole world, he's wealthy, yamid eretz. He can't be influenced by money and bribes. And if he's like a kohen who is looking for a little weed, for a gift from somebody, he's going to destroy it. Omar Rabbi Barashila, Hay Dayana de Shoil, Sheilsa, Posel and Meidandino. Where do we have the Gemara? I'm trying to think. Maybe it's coming up. But if it's not, I don't want to forget what I was thinking here. That the Gemara says that when you get a gift from somebody, you get a gift, then you become, the Gemara is going to say it here, you become one with them. That's what the Gemara says. Shoichad. Shoichad means, we're going to see soon, one. Become one with them. Okay, that's exactly what's going on here. Anytime you give somebody a gift, you get close to them. And Memelo, that's the pshat over here. Tzadik Gomer, Lekech Shoichad. Shoichad has a very, very powerful power over people.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
What? To get a gift?
Yeah.
Depends what. If it's to Africa, it's unbelievable. It's a Chiv Gomer. No, it's a terrible thing. Huh? Soinim atanasich. A dayan that borrows from different people in the city. He's already biased to people. He receives favors from people. He borrows things from them. He cannot do it in Torah. If he himself is so poor, he has nothing to give back. But if he gives back, less than ball, we don't have to worry about it. He would borrow from them, even though they didn't borrow back from him, and he did it din Torah. He wanted to make them feel important. He wanted to show, look, even Rava borrows from them. He had a different cheshbon. Omar Rava. My taima, the shuchada. Why is it also to take, well, we know the Torah says you're not allowed to take a bribe. But why is it also to take a bribe even when you know for sure that you're passing the right halacha? You know that halacha is like a certain person, so take a bribe. What's the big deal? Says you become close to him. It's like yourself. It's a big yisoid here. Another yisoid in Shas. You want to become close to somebody, give him a gift. You hear that? You hear? Hint, hint. No. I'm not saying that people should give me a gift for my birthday. Adarabba. The chevra, they gave me a beautiful gift, and a bunch of people were mishtatev in it, and they might see the whole olam. I'm not no one has to give me anything. You shkoya for the gift. My shoichad, that you could say. I already did enough pushing for the sponsorships. So when a person it says himself, he gave a gift to somebody, so now he's like himself. He feels so close to this person, then he becomes blind, becomes biased. My shoichad, shuchad. It's a simple pashup pshat. He becomes one. Shoichad. He becomes one with that person. Right? Like a parent. It's unbelievable. Sometimes you see mothers especially. They'll say about their children, child is a terrible thing. Nah, he was tired. He was hungry. He was this. It wasn't his fault. He killed 3 people, but it went like that. Like, no, you don't understand. They have a territory. When you're biased, you can't think straight. If a person is one with somebody else, they can't think, they can't do it entire. You cannot do it entire to somebody that you love and somebody that you hate. And this is not love of the typical Gemara where you gave him XYZ and he gave you, or somebody did something terrible to you, didn't speak to you for 3 days. We're talking about even the smallest of the small. And the Gemara is going to give examples. If you love somebody, you can't see fault in him. The sonny lay, and if you hate him, you can't see something good in him. Amar Abaye, Haitzum Rabbanan Demirachim Le Bnei Masa Lav Mishum Demalit. You know what? Last night I was in the car with my wife, and I said she did something, and I said I have to use it in a shir one day. I'll just use it today because I'm going to forget about it. We were driving to Yerushalayim, and she tells me it's going to rain soon. It's going to rain. I'm like, why? She says, look at the clouds. They're so dark. I'm like, I don't see what are you talking about? And then I look at her. She's wearing sunglasses. I said, take off your sunglasses. She takes it. Oh, so sometimes it's just like it hit me. Sometimes you view things in a different view. You have sunglasses on, so you think it's going to rain. This is okay. It's a marshal to this. I'm never going to use it.
Did she say that?
She was dying.
She didn't say not to. I mean, it wasn't a night. It was a night.
Last night.
Last time we came back last night, but there's clouds. He said there's clouds.
Watch the You should wipe the glasses.
It's a murder marshal. You guys just don't chop it. You look at it. It depends. Everybody has filters in front of them. They see things in different ways because either they took shoichad, or they think differently, or they saw something. You have filters. Get rid of the filters. You see things differently. Zog the Gemara, hold on. We got to do a whole amud here. What?
It was the other way around. You were wearing the sunglasses and she said...
No. But don't get me a pair of sunglasses for my birthday. These people these chachamim, that the people of the city love them, it's not because they did something good. Ella mishum deloi moichachlu b'mila d'shmaya, because they don't give them musar. Omarova mereish havamina. In the beginning, I would think I thought the entire mechayza loves me. Even the Havid Dayana. Once I did dintaris with them, amina minayu sonuli minayu rachman. Now 50% of the people that got a favorable judgment, they love me. The other 50 hate me. But you know what? I'm here long enough, and the same people that come in for dintar today, they come in tomorrow, and I pass in sometimes the opposite. So now they see that I'm not biased to certain people. Sometimes I say for you good and for you bad. So therefore, if they hate me, they all hate me. If they love me, they all love me. Certainly, you can't take cash. Even things and actions, not so much the words, but actions, as the Gemara is going to say. It doesn't say don't take money. It just says shoichat. Give us an example. The Gemara gives us 4 cases that are very, very similar. Shmuel was going over a bridge. He stuck out his hand, helped him get over the bridge. What are you doing here? I'm going to your bezin in a minute. That's it. I can't do anything with you. So this machlokes rishonim here, is it puzzle l'chumra, like he was being extra tzaddik and careful, or it's awesome in the raisa, or also to do the entire with him. Yosef dina a feather flew on his head. So we're going to bigger and bigger chidushim. First, he was physical with him. He literally held up his body over the bridge, helped him get over the bridge. Now, he didn't lift him up. He took a piece of dirt off his hat. What are you doing here? I'm here for you. I can't do it. There's spit. It wasn't even on his hat. It was on the floor in front of him. So somebody came and made it nice for him so he could walk there. What are you doing here? Sorry, can't be your dine anymore. Reb Shmuel Reb Yosi have a rogal arisa to have a maislei komali shabsa kanto de peri. Reb Shmuel Reb Yosi had an aris. Aris is somebody that works in Reb Shmuel's field, and they split the profits. So every Friday we'd split the profit, give him a box of fruit from Reb Shmuel's field. He'd give him a box of fruit. One week, instead of coming on Friday, he came on Thursday. Why are you coming today? I have it entire by by my boss. I said, you know what? Let me stop by a little early. He didn't accept the box. Not only that, I can't be your dayan. He put 2 rabbanon over there. and they made a din Torah. When he was walking back and forth, he hears his aris in the din Torah, and he says, the aris could have said this and he could have said that, and he would win. Omar tipach nafsham. The neshama should suffer. Anybody that takes shaychad, his neshama should suffer. And he makes a kavachayim. Listen to what happened. I didn't even take the box. I told him to keep the box. And even if I took it, I had all the right in the world to take it. Why? Shali notalti. It's mine. I get it anyways on a Friday. Kach. I'm thinking in my mind, how do I help this guy and how do I fix it? And he could have said this and this. A dayan who doesn't know the guy and he gets free cash. Allah is kama v'kama. Rishmal ber Elisha. Pamachas nichnasti lagti ketoyres lifnai v'lifnim. You can't just let me hang there. Yeah.
What do you want?
It's obvious. He said, "Rom v'niso, o marti lo yeah." Okay, this is Rishmal bar Elisha. He's also a very beautiful man who they took off his skin and the whole thing with the Asura, the Arugi Malchus. I guess. Somebody came, he's a Chaim. Somebody gave him the first shearings. He's supposed to give a little bit to the Chaim of the sheep. Where are you coming from? I'm coming from America. What, from the entire way you couldn't find a single Chaim, just me? I'm coming to your bezin tomorrow. Let me give you at least now. I can't be your dayan. I'm not taking your rishis agez. So he put the rabbanon there that they should do it. He was thinking about it. The neshama should suffer. I didn't take it. I'm deserving of this rishis agez. You hear, Reb Nachum? You're deserving of the rishis agez. Says the Gemara, Rav Onan. I just feel bad for Rav Onan. Rav Onan in this Masechta 3 times he had I don't know what to call it, failures. He said Huna. He says Huna Chavroi, and then he got punished for saying Huna Chavroi. Over here also, we're going to see tomorrow. He get punished again. Rav Onan Aisilei Augar Kinta the Galdone the Begile. Somebody brought him a box of small fish like sardines. What are you doing here? Same story. Like Kabu when they didn't take the box. I can't be your dayan. You know what? I don't need you. But I need you to take this box. Why? I want to bring bikurim. I'm giving you fish. Now we know bikurim is fruit. What's pshat in the fish? The sanya v'ishba mibal shalisha v'yov Elisha lekim. He brought to Elisha. The Isha Lekim, Lechem Bikurim, Esrim Lechem Soyim, 20 breads. V'karamel b'tzikloina. V'chi Elisha, Oicha Bikurim Hava. Rashi says, Elisha was from Shevet God. He's not a Kayin. Eloloi Malach. Chol HaMei v'doiren l'tamad chacham, Ki'ilu, Makriv, Bikurim. It's as if he brought Bikurim. Now, talking about a Sroigim after Sukkos, the Sefer Hasidim in Siman Nun brings a Rosh who says that the reason why we weren't Zoichet, you hear this? No. The reason why we weren't Zoichet the good Esrogim this year is because the Tzibur didn't take the Esrogim after Sukkos. After Sukkos, boil it up, make something and give it away to Talmud Chacham. That's what he says. Esrogim after Sukkos. Should we stop here? No. Omalei, Kabbalah Lobin in the Kabel.
You get a lot of esrog jelly tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it has to be Talmud Chacham, I said. I said Talmud Chacham. Omalei, Kabbalah Lobin in the Kabel. I don't want to take it. I didn't want to take it. Hashad Amesli Taima. But now that you explained to me that you're trying to be Mekayim a mitzvah, Bikurim, and we had this goes back, it's beautiful. That don't say no to somebody. Somebody wants to give you a gift, don't say no. Somebody wants not a gift. Somebody wants to help you out. You be Moneh Chesed from them if you don't take it. Shalei Kamid Rav Nachman. So he says, go to Rav Nachman. I can't do anything for you. Shalach lei. And he sent him, Daini Mar Lai Gavra. You should please Rav Nachman. You take care of this guy. Danoa Anan mi Onon Pasilin Leidina. I can't do it. Omar. So Rav Nachman said, Midashalach lei Hachi Shmamino Kriveyu. Must be that the guy is related to him. Have a kohen din of the Yasmik Hamei, and he was in the middle of it in the Torah with Yisayimim. Omar hayasei v'hayasei. Here the chart says Shvatim Tzelik ben Ish ubein Achiv. There's a mitzvah to do the Torah, but there's also a mitzvah to go in order. To go in order. It's also we learn from a pasuk. And by the way, okay, at a different time, as they cover Torah Odif, and because of Rabbanon. Let's do Kavod Torah first. So he got rid of the Yisayimim. He did this in Torah. Given the Chazah Baldina Yikar, the Kohavalei, since he saw all the cover he gave the other tzad, he started Tanasa. He didn't know what to say. He lost his whole svaras. Have a wonderful day.